Hello and welcome to BonBonB Plays Transport Fever Friday Fever. I'm BonBonB and you of course are very welcome. Right, well, I've got good news, I've got bad news. Oh yes, I've got good news and bad news. The good news is that our little transport system might start making some proper money now. You may notice that the Foodathon's got a few extra carriages or wagons on the back. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for a lot of things at the moment. Basically, I've just recorded a full episode, carrying on from last week, and it's a very nice episode too. Some very beautiful commentary and some very funny quips from me. And I noticed that although my mic was switched on, my recording was not actually recording. The software was set to no mic, which was very annoying. I have done that in the past, by the way. It is something that I am capable of doing, and I was very capable of doing it today. So anyway, what I've done is I have bought a load of extra wagons here, because basically the Foodathon, although the train is now old now, the train needs an update. I mean, 51 years old, but it's still making us money on a and these red lines have increased because I've got extra wagons now, so extra rolling stock, but they will be carrying a lot more. So I'm figuring that it's still going to be worth hanging on to that train for a little while. It's not making a huge amount of money, but it's doing okay. Now, on top of that, we've got a couple of fuel trains, the Icania and the Carnador, both of which I have upgraded with extra rolling stock as well. Here's the Icania. Now this is my big ticket, this one. He is the, and we'll follow you along, shall we? Details, 21 years old, finances. When it gets to the platform at Glastonbury, we get these big spikes. But he's only getting there every so often. We're getting long gaps with no deliveries at all. Because it is a long old trip from the oil well, which is down here. There's your oil well. To the refinery, and then he goes past Galston, up through past the farms, all the way up to Tenterden, and then Glastonbury, boom. So it's about 1 million at Tenterden, and then 3 million at Glastonbury. So I bought him a whole load of extra, because if we have a look at Glastonbury, there we are. Glastonbury, we're producing, hey, at the moment, 10% for the jobs requirement. And when he was getting there, that'll boost up to about 60% before dropping right back down again when the oil runs out, of course. So we've got a lot of room for improvement with the oil. So put on a whole load of extra tanks on the back of him, and hopefully this will make a difference. Now what's he carrying at the moment? At the moment he's carrying 108 of 126. But that's probably because that was all there was waiting for him, because if only just put on the extra tanks. If we come back to the refinery now the refinery now is running at 394. There you go, big boost there. It's approaching the limit as well, so we'll get an upgrade at some point. And yes, this is now popping along nicely. We've got some oil going to Galston transfer. Don't know why we'd be sending oil there, but anyway, that's what's going on. And then we've got also the Carnador here. Put a load of extra on the back of him as well, and he is producing money regularly as well, but not huge amounts. But he's doing shorter trips, so shorter, more regular trips with the extra carriages should make a bit of a difference. Pardon me while I clear my throat. And I'm back. There we are. Okay, right. So, and then this is the one that concerns me the most, the Miyagi. He's very concerning, I've got to say. Oh, Max Wood, don't forget him. The Miyagi, there we go. Yeah, waiting for a free path. Oh yes, he's just going to stop and wait for the Carnador to get out of the way. Now, he's carrying 69 of 140 passengers. The thing with this train is it is never full. Never ever full, and it's very annoying, because when it was just running between Mitcham and Galston, we were filling it up. How many have we got on the platform here? 58. See, only 58. I don't know quite why we're not getting more passengers on the platform. We used to. So anyway, that's a very strange thing indeed. Now let's just to have a look and see how we do with money now with the Miyagi, not the Miyagi, this is the Carnador on the Mitcham run. It's got 180 of 180 crude oil. It's going to offload this here. This is going to be a big boost for the refinery. You watch that. Ready? Money wise, it's 1.36. Nice. You can see the old oil popping in on the far side there. Look at all this. Oh, loads and loads and loads. And then the refinery will work through all of that and produce a load of these yellow ones, which will come back over to the station. And now, how many have you got on there at the moment? You've got 62 or 63. Yes, this is a lot. This is only going over the way here to this station here, so it's not going to produce that much directly. You should get paid by distance as much as anything. Right, how's the Icania doing? The Icania is on its way. So today's episode, we're not actually going to be building much or anything at all. Pardon me 1 second again. So I'm struggling a little bit with hay fever today. Don't worry, I am fine. I love it when you guys comment, say, "Oh, get well soon." It's hay fever. It's just snizzly nose and little bit itchy eyes or whatever. At the moment, just a little bit of a runny nose. And I don't want to be blowing my nose into the microphone. So I'll be right back with you. You can see by how far the train has progressed to see that you've not missed that much. How much are we getting from that one? Where are we? We are getting 800,000 for that little trip there. Yes. So yeah, I love it when you guys say, "Oh, get well soon." Ah, it's just a sniffly nose. I'm feeling fine. I just don't want to get that sort of like gurgling sound into the microphone while I blow my nose. It's really not pleasant, is it? You know. How are we doing here? 1.75 million. This is much better. Now we can start repaying some of these loans. With 21 million owing, if I can get this all repaid before we buy any more trains, that would be absolutely picking wonderful. Right, if you get on your way, buddy, are you carrying anything at the moment? Yes, 60. So if you can get that up to here, this would be great. We're not going to actually build anything today, just because I've already done all the building and I've already spent all the money. It's off camera, on camera. It's very annoying when it's such a silly, simple mistake to make. While we're waiting for the train to arrive, look at the modelling on these cars. We are in 1956 at the moment. They are still very, very relevant to the era. We're coming in here and we've got a crane building, upgrading buildings. We've got the industrial area getting a bit smoggy, yeah. And then we've got the residential area over here with some very nice continental looking buildings. Yeah, looking very nice indeed. Right, now, a couple of things another thing I want to thank you guys for. A few of you have been coming up with some really good inputs regarding, like for example, I was putting in waypoints, and you said, you know, you can actually use signals for waypoints. I go, oh, I didn't know that, says the guy who hasn't played this game enough. So that was actually probably the most useful of all the information. Also, I've never gone multi-platforms before in any of my playthroughs, and so knowing that I can actually tell the train to go to a certain platform, well, that was a major bonus too. Just 1 second while I sneeze now. I'm going to just turn the mic off. There. Sorry about that again. Do you know what? The really weird thing is that first recording that I did, I didn't sniff or sneeze once. And now I'm sneezing for England. How are we doing there? 500,000. This is all good. This is all very nice indeed. Right, now you may notice a slight change in my voice again. A slightly healthier, heartier voice. Oh, crikey. Do you know what? When I was recording this show, I was an absolute mess. It's now 24 hours later and I feel a whole lot better. And I've just gone to do the editing of the show, and I've noticed I was in such a mess when I was recording this, that when I went into my little sneezing fit, I managed to switch my mic off. And so we've got another full, 10 minutes of the show recorded with absolutely no narration. Now the thing is, this is not something that I can add voiceover afterwards, unlike a WhatsApp where it's designed to be voiced over during a fly-through. This is I'm thinking and I'm operating on the move kind of show. So that basically is kind of it for today. I didn't have much to show you anyway because there wasn't an awful lot to do. Having already done the build and spent all the money, there wasn't an awful lot to show you anyway. What I am going to do is I'm going to leave the video flowing right to the end of wherever I was. So if I did actually do anything off camera or on camera while narrating, then you'll be able to see me doing it. I won't be explaining what I'm doing though. I'm just going to let it fade through, fizzle through, and yes, this will be the episode that should never have ever been. In fact, in theory, what I should have done is I should just delete this episode and re-record it from scratch next week from the old save, but I don't really want to spend another, well, it was probably an hour with the planning. I don't want to spend another half an hour to an hour replaying this same playthrough. I just don't want to do it. I mean, I do this particular game for my own pleasure. Something that gives me a bit of a break from all the city skylines. I've just shown you there how much it would have cost to delete the field, by the way. Yes, I do this just as like a side distraction for myself, and so having to redo it just for an episode of a show that not that many people watch, you know, maybe 100 or so people have been watching this particular playthrough. You know, I'm so glad that you're along for the ride, guys. I really am. But I'm not that worried about this series so much that I'm going to re-record an entire episode. So there you are. Right, anyway, I'm going to sign off now. Thank you very much anyway for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. I hope you stick around to the very end. Honestly, I don't think there's any reason why you should. You could just disappear when I disappear. But feel free to watch it to the end if you like, and stick it in the comments if you have done, and if there's anything in those remaining 8 minutes that you're particularly interested by. Anyway, have an absolutely wonderful day. I'll be BonBonB. You'll be very, very welcome, and I'll see you next Friday for more Friday Fever, and Monday to Sunday for loads of City Skylines.